How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews, back to yet another review. A little bit of extra hopped Brux jams in the form of Icarus Brewing's. It's their not a Schooner. Yeah, this is a Brux Imperial India Pale Ale coming in at 8.5%. A mesmerizing can. I've not had this before. I went down to Icarus this past weekend, picked up a 4-pack. I'm going to open this. I'm going to review it. It's called science. What else does it say in here? Besides all the stuff I already read, on the back it says Brux Northeast Imperial India Pale Ale, copiously dry hopped with Columbus Amarillo, double dry hopped with Citra and Mosaic. Say, what's that? Lakewood, New Jersey, where my dad actually worked for like 19 billion years, is pretty much where I grew up. It's kind of weird because I visited a brewery. I never thought that a brewery would open up where my old stomping grounds were. So, yeah, picked this up, reviewed this, and I reviewed their Milking It. I've done other stuff from Icarus, but those are the two I picked up. I'll probably post them the same day. And label-wise, it's weird. It's got this tie-dye vibe up top. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really dig it. But then it's got this weird guy in the back. I don't know who that is. I don't know. Whatever. Brux IPA. Not to be confused with Brut IPA. What everybody is kind of making nowadays. Actually, it's becoming, the fad is dying off a little bit as of this videoing. Brux was originally thought to be part of Brettanomyces, but it's its own particular thing. And it usually imparts a nice dryness to the beer. Not necessarily as, it's somewhere, if you've had a Brut IPA, think of something between a base, relatively dryish IPA, something with a big yeast profile, and a Brut IPA. It's somewhere falling in between there. It might impart a little bit of flavor with it, maybe a little bit of citrus. But if you look at this, it doesn't have the typical IPA head. Infinitely rocky, zero creaminess whatsoever. It's got a soft haze to her, but uniform haze, nothing too crazy. It's not the haziest beer in the history of mankind, let's put it that way. So, see if we get a nose on her. Yeah, it's citrus all around. Zesty citrus. Yeah, zesty citrus, a little bit of cattiness actually, just a touch of it, maybe a little bit of green onion, like almost scallion-like, and you get that kind of green hoppiness, but it's definitely leaning in all those kind of herbaceous, kind of spicy kind of bits and pieces, and that little bit of kind of soft, just sweet maltiness, nothing too crazy. It's not a super in-your-face nose, but impactful enough. It's got a tasty poo. Sippy poo or tasty poo? Both work. Cheers. See, now that is dangerous. Okay? I'm not getting a huge big Brux component off it. Typically, the ones that I've had, Ripple from Kane, Brux from name of the beer from Russian Duck, those tend to get a little bit drier, a little bit more of that kind of, almost like I said, you can see how it could be confused with like a Brettanomyces kind of variant. You get the soft dryness, a little bit of citrus, stuff like that. You're getting the citrus in here. You're getting a soft dryness, but the beer, since it's imperialized, it's 8.5%. It's really sweet. It kind of kicks that dryness to the curb a little bit. And what it ends up being, and that's why I call it infinitely dangerous, is you get that big sweetness, but it doesn't come off nearly as big because of the Brux in the beer itself. Conversely, the Brux doesn't come off as dry because of that big sweetness. So what it ends up being is almost like it's canceling each other out. It's crossing the streams. It's doing a Ghostbusters on itself, in that it takes what should be an impactful 8.5%, not super hazy IPA, and bringing it down to a 5.8% tasting IPA, and that's dangerous. You know, you can drink a bunch of these and end up, waking up at a dumpster in Cincinnati or Lakewood, wherever you want to wake up in dumpsters. And it's honestly, it's a nice beer. It's not super dense mouthfeel, but it's not thin. You get a little bit of bitterness throughout the whole thing. Not too much up front, not too much at the back. Sweetness comes off a little bit candied, but kind of in a kind of like a juice box kind of candied way, not like a hard candied kind of way. Orange abounds, tropical fruit abounds with that orange. And you get a little bit of dryness from that yeast. enough to kind of balance off that, or bang off, or cancel out that huge sweetness to where it just ends up being something you want to just kind of drink and drink pretty fast. And like I said, that makes for dangerous stuff. So yeah, nice beer, tasty beer. Would I call it a great Brux-based beer? It's not showing the Brux all that much, so it's just more of kind of like a bit player. But it's like weird. It's like a little bit of like New England IPA vibes, along with some like kind of Midwest IPA vibes, along with some of that kind of old school East Coast IPA vibes. It's weird. Citrus all the way. And just tasty, drinkable. I don't know. It's not wowing me, but at the same time, I just want to drink the goddamn thing. So anyway, let's talk about it. It's one of the better double IPAs, Imperial IPAs I've had as late. On the outside looking in, but it's tasty beer. I like it. I think it's fun. I love to see how a can kind of ages maybe over about a month or so, which I normally would do, but I gave away all the other ones, so shit out of luck. Value and availability, I want to say $18 for a 4-pack, brewery only, maybe. I know you can find their stuff other places, and leave you with, if you like what, will you like this beer? If you like Midwest IPAs, but you want a little bit of East Coast treatment with a little bit more dryness, that's essentially what you get here. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a drinkable package, probably a little bit too thin, and a little bit too thin for a lot of today's haze boys and hop fatties out there, but tasty nonetheless. Fun beer. Not the best thing I've had from Icarus, but at the same time, I dig it. So there you go. Another review in the books down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massive if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting stuff. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully I'm drinking a nice little Brux IPA right now. Hope we'll see you next time. Cheers.